SuperMassive.
No, you're right. That's absolutely. We actually have the first pick already.
Yeah, look at that Echo falling through the band phase here. So no surprise going to be seeing him in that top lane. We've seen him a couple times full AP mid, but he fits into that tank role so damn well right now.
He does fit in well with Grasp of the Undying, the tanky items. They are very kind to young Echo, though he can still be played in that middle lane. We know that whilst locking it in as their first rotation, it could be considered a flex.
Yep.
If it comes to it, worst comes to worst, he can still jungle. You know, there's still a lot of possibilities for these guys. As you are right, the Anivia band shows a lot of respect, and I am curious to see where Kira goes.
It looks like Hard Random going to be picking up the stable Lucian and the tank god himself, Maokai, in the top lane. So not really showing their hand as of yet. Very standard picks here. We see it on the side of SuperMassive. They are going to be hovering over that Kindred and Bard. Dumbledore, have we seen him on the Bard yet? I don't think so. Maybe just the Poppy. So it'd be interesting to see just how well he plays it.
Oh, you haven't seen his Bard, have you?
No, I don't think. I can't say I have.
He's a god.
Is it a god? Oh,
absolutely.
boy.
He is the Bard. Liquid is like the second Bard to come through.
If they lock this in, I'm excited then, Rusty.
Should be. It's also a very good denial pick from Liquid, to be fair.
Great point.
We've seen his Bard. We know what his Bard is capable of. Trundle was banned, has removed a flex option and also took a tank option, which is a curious thing to me.
So it looks like the Kindred and Bard will be locked in. You mentioned that is a denial pick, but Dumbledore, an amazing Bard player in his own right, and Stormrage getting himself a nice little Kindred pick on the back end of that one. We've seen Kindreds have mixed success in this tournament so far.
Yeah, Kindred's a very mixed success champion in general. Your team needs to be winning firstly so that you have control of the jungle, in particular the enemy jungle, because obviously you want marks and very mark and kill reliant champions. So you need winning lanes, generally speaking, to make it work for you.
We're looking forward to see how Hard Random answer this. I'm sure they have a few tricks up their sleeve. I wonder what Licorice will pull out in that support role. Maybe the Thresh, maybe something a little bit more creative. But he picks this Thresh, that's going to be 4 different supports in 4 different games, Rust.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Liquid is going to be a player with deep pockets. It wouldn't surprise me, honestly, with the way that he plays very effectively around the map.
It looks like that will be the Thresh and the Nidalee locked in. So we'll see Steros on the Nidalee and then Licorice on that support. So saving their last pick for Kira.
And it's funny, we haven't seen any, I'm going to say, Graves today, but that's a very weird thing to say because we're in game 1. I just mean that Graves has, through the previous 2 days, seen priority.
Exactly
almost.
right.
Like Nidalee is the best jungling champion, right?
Yep.
But we've still managed to see a Graves in this particular tournament keep up with the Nidalee every time. It's something that doesn't make sense to me, but at the same time is happening.
Yeah, so Graves, he's been quite the dominant performance so far. Nidalee going to be locked in on there. So the Jhin, though, on the side of SuperMassive, following up with the LeBlanc in the mid lane. So very damage-heavy composition with only one of the tanks. And Echo, not really known for predictable CC.
Yeah, look, they're not tanks. Even if they are tanks, they're not engaged tanks. It's going to be a delicate composition for SuperMassive to execute. What it does mean, however, is we need to see what Kira's gonna... There we go.
Oh, so the Gangplank in the mid lane taking on that LeBlanc. Looks like he is hovered over that teleport at the time being. LeBlanc with Ignite. So very interesting team compositions out of both squads. Really looking forward to see just how well they play them. You mentioned how delicate the SuperMassive squad is. They have a lot of upfront damage, but can they survive long enough to dish it out here?
Yeah, the idea is they've got a Kindred to keep their back line alive, and their front line is essentially a non-existent factor. Whilst they've got tanks, they've got Echo who's going to be playing to the front of it and actually taking damage, soaking damage, is not engaging. So the idea behind SuperMassive's team composition is not to engage at all. Like, you don't want to unless they're low. So ideally for them, it's a siege composition where they can poke them down. LeBlanc very good at sieging because of the way that you can jump in, blow your combo, and get out safely. The thing is, she's against a Maokai, and Maokai has been defined as one of the better picks into a LeBlanc because you press twisted advance. It doesn't matter where she goes. Like, you're still going to catch her, and that's your engaged tool onto the carry.
Well, I really think when they locked in that bar, the Tempered Fate could just potentially go down on that heavy front line, allowing LeBlanc to get that free two or so seconds of just freedom to get into that backline and cause havoc. And we mentioned just how well Dumbledore knows his way around a Bard pick, so expect some epic Tempered Fates coming out here.
Yeah, absolutely. Look towards the Bard ultimate for the way to unlock these guys. I think that whilst it's important that you are hitting the front line, perhaps with that Tempered Fate at the same time, you need to be keeping Jin alive. So yes, you could be focusing that. If you hit the backline that's doing damage to him, however, the Maokai is always going to be there to go on LeBlanc.
Yeah.
It's actually just really important that, once again, we called SuperMassive's team composition delicate. That's because they have to be hitting the right targets at every single time. Echo's going to be a good split pusher as well, but he can't afford to split push, honestly, with this team that they have. They need someone who can soak damage.
Well, it's going to be very difficult to split push against the Gangplank, who once a big minion wave builds up, he can just chuck the cannon barrage up there and forget about it.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Well, it looks like we are jumping into the first game of Day 3 of the International Wildcard Invitational. You've got SuperMassive Esports taking on Hard Random. Now, this is such an important game. If Hard Random win this, they secure themselves a spot in the playoff, if I'm not mistaken.
You
Going
should
up 4-0.
be correct with that. At least they get themselves a 2-game buffer on first place coming into this third day. That's a very big deal on Day 3 of 4 in the Wildcards, and that would at least put them at playoffs.
Yeah, so definitely the pressure is on for them to perform. They've looked so strong throughout the entirety of the tournament, and I'm looking forward to seeing them play. Is what, like we said, such an important game. Looks like we will be seeing a little bit of standard lanes. Now, we haven't seen too much of this throughout yesterday. Everyone going for that lane swap and then taking their blue buffs, little golems here.
Yeah, most people looking towards the lane swap as the primary strategy. I think that it's quite important that Thaldron keeps up, though. Being the one tank he needs to be at least somewhat okay. The Echo does well into the Maokai also. And so in terms of their lane assignments and how these matchups work out, you'd be quite happy as SuperMassive to take the standard lanes. Hard Random on the flip side, I think they're going to be pretty content with these standard lanes also. They'll sacrifice top lane a little bit, but you don't want to put Kira into this hole where he's going to struggle.
Yeah, neither of the bot lanes taking their camp here. The Gromp and the Krugs remain untouched as we see Echo and Maokai in the top lane. Looks like it will be Thaldred and not Fabulous, so they must be feeling good about that one. We see Dumbledore taking a little bit of poke here, but Jin, he's such an oppressive laner, especially into someone like Lucian, both short-range champions. Naru just getting poked out here. Kira takes that Grasp of the Undying, being able to proc that on the parlay.
Yeah, Grasp of the Undying Bandit is the general standard for most Gangplanks to take. Of course, helps with your trading immensely, as speaking of trading.
Ouch, that has got to hurt. Luckily, Maokai, he's got himself a few potions as well as that Doran's Ring. Going to be keeping him healthy in this lane. We see Stormage going for his own red buff here. Looks like the first mark of the Kindred will be spawning on that Rift Herald side Scuttle Crab. So should be an easy take for him once he finishes clearing his jungle.
I think it's safe to say we can see why Echo is picked into Maokai already.
Oh yeah, he is just dumpstering at the moment. Already up double CS. Of course, that's not as impressive this early on in the game, but look at the damage coming out of Archu. Just taking it to Miracle here. He is getting chunked.
And this is the power of the standard lanes that they obviously want to have here from SuperMassive. Gives plenty of time for their jungler to do as they would please. And rule number one of having that Kindred is perform well in your lanes. If there is a lane not performing well, it's entirely gankable, however. And this is the one exception where he needs to eat oranges. Might not be K, though.
He might be in a little bit of trouble here. The snare goes down. Looks like the oranges weren't taking a level 3. Stormage is going to get this one, giving it over, of course, to Naru. An excellent gank, punishing him for that greed.
Yeah, Kindred does a lot of damage early. Naru hitting the chains, though, was the core feature behind that. Not even wasting the flash, Kira. And, yeah, I'm going to hope that he leveled oranges. I'm not sure.
Oh, looks like a gank in the bot lane. The flash into the flay. Dumbledore might be in a little bit of trouble. Flash, he's got 2 heals. No, 3 to keep him alive. It's going to be enough. The spear might come out. Looks like they've turned their attention onto the Jhin. The teleport coming in for the top lane. That's going to be a kill. Another one coming over to Dumbledore. He is Thaldron. He picks up one. Looking for another one. That's going to be a double. He's got his eyes set on Liquid. He might be in a little bit of trouble. The Sun not going to land, but he gets the shield. The third proc coming out. Not going to follow that up, but a huge turn of events.
And Smurf does not use his teleport at all. You'd have to ask some questions about that one. Not even stopping Thaldron this time around. 2-0-0 is the Echo.
Oh, no.
And whilst it was magical how well Dumbledore got himself to safety, he turns around and tries to keep his AD carry alive, as is custom. But unfortunately, the 2 kills still go over to Hard Random. And everything evens out.
Yeah, so that was a very interesting play at around 4 minutes in the game. We're already seeing such a bloodbath, these teams taking it to each other, showing no fear. That's exactly what I like. You can't go into a game against a team that's 3-0 and not expect to try your best and just think, hey, these guys are doing really well. Let's play safe. Let's play a little bit reactive. They're playing their game, and this is why I love watching SuperMassive.
Yeah, they're not actually just playing outright reactive and respecting. They are still playing their own style. That's the very cool thing. As SuperMassive, they've got a defined flavor, and they do enjoy playing towards that. As I will say, however, whilst the gank evened out a lot of things across the board, still doing well, this Jhin Bard. Very well. That's against a Lucian Thresh. Usually the Bards picked into tankier champions that tend to not do enough damage to compensate. Lucian's also a very self-sufficient laning champion, but Jin's holding his own.
They're doing really well. Looks like a very early Rift Herald here, but I say that we've been seeing the Rift Herald being such a primary buff for these teams to be taking. Stormage, they're taking a lot of damage. He's going to have to switch the aggro over to Thaldron. Looks like this should be an easy take for them at around 6 minutes in the game.
Yeah, so they'll get themselves that Rift Herald. I would imagine that Stormage takes that so that he gets the empowered recall and walks to his jungle quicker.
Yep. As
they spent a lot of time actually exhausting that resource of the Rift Herald. Very early done as well.
Very hard for Nidalee to make a play on the LeBlanc. We see in the bot lane just getting some trades. Liquor taking a bit of damage. Looks like he wants to go back as the Cannon Barrage is down. Archu, he might be in a little bit of trouble. He is going to go down here, giving that one over to Miracle. Here is Seros. Dumbledore, he doesn't have the flash available. He should fall if they can get one more. Oh, the magical journey through the tower. It might be enough as the Nidalee pounce isn't enough range.
And Dumbledore gets out safely, but he loses his AD carry in Archu throughout this. Honestly, a complete overextension in a 2v2 matchup, let alone the Gangplank ultimate, and let alone Steos actually coming in. Bard should not have thrown his stun out, plain and simple.
Really great coordination coming out of the team of Hard Random, knowing where they have to get their lanes ahead. They knew that the Lucian was already 1 kill, 1 death, but that was a kill over his opposing lane. So really focusing their attention there. Smurf, he's having a rough time here. A 2-0 Echo at 4 minutes is not something you want to go into the game with. Looks like the stun will be going there. Trying to get as much damage as he can. He's going to be low, allowing for that W passive to proc. One more attack. That should be it. Wow. Thaldron just takes out Smurf, making it look easy.
Had no reason to be stunned there. He kind of just walked into it and pays for it with his life. That was well executed, however, I will say, by Thaldron. And this is Echo into Maokai, something that you can't let happen. He's now even got 2 stacks.
Yeah, this is looking really good. Seros, as we can see, just going to be taking out his jungle. Naru going to be donated that blue buff. Thank you, Stormage. He doesn't have his Devour just yet, so that should be stacking once he goes back and buys it. Looks like down in the bot lane, Lucian, he's got himself that BF sword. But Jhin, going to have to go for Caulfield's Warhammer, so already feeling the pressure of this lane.
Which is okay, the Caulfields. Gets a bit of cooldown reduction. I think that that is definitely champion sensitive, given that he's got boots with it. So could have went the BF sword route. Opts towards the cooldown reduction to throw out more spells and be that spell slinger. Also means we're going to be seeing the Essence Reaver first from Archie.
It looks like he's also got himself the Cull, so that will be counting down every time he gets a CS. Looking for that nice spike in gold in the mid. Kira going toe-to-toe in terms of CS with his opposition. Did get that early first blooded, if we remember correctly. A great gank by Stormage. Steros finding out a ward in his own jungle. Just going to be taking out that Grombol. Kira pushes up the lane. Should be donating that blue buff to the Gangplank any minute now.
Yeah, they'll be giving over their blue buffs shortly. You would think. You know, Nidalee, though, sometimes just doesn't want to give that one over, but naturally, both junglers actually farming quite hard, I think is what we can take from this. But still at 9 minutes, the Devourer isn't actually purchased.
It looks like LeBlanc going for a very early, needlessly large rod here, so just wants straight damage onto this Gangplank, who himself has got a Sheen and a Null Magic Mantle. Respecting the LeBlanc's damage a lot. Could that be going into a Spectre's Cowl? Since he's got a Ruby Crystal to compensate as well?
It could very well be a Spectre's Cowl. I would imagine it's a Hex Drinker, however, with a Phage.
Ah, sure.
Just to finish off that Trinity Force as soon as possible.
Kira might be in a little bit of trouble. The stun isn't going to land. The teleport coming in from Smurf on the back. Is he going to be able to get onto Looks like that Cannon Barrage does go down. Naru might be in a little bit of trouble. He does have the blue buff, so his cooldown reduction is going to be reduced. He should be able to get out of this one okay. Looks like they've turned their attention onto Thaldron, but with an Echo with ultimate up, it is so hard to just kill that damn kid.
Yeah, they don't get him, but they're still going.
Oh, the fight is not over yet. We see Lamb's Respite has been put down. Everyone wanting to stay in this one. Miracle gets out. There comes Thaldron trying to get the kill. He got the first one, looking for the second. Naru very low, wants to get something here. Dumble Doge flashes, but the Q didn't land, unfortunately.
Yeah, it was very close. Dumbledore had a cute strategy there ready to go, but the Lantern, I believe, went past the position through the flashes. So unlucky stuff here from SuperMassive, but the proactivity continues. And they're now looking towards this mid lane.
Ooh, a close hook, but might be in a little bit of trouble here as 3 members of SuperMassive are closing down on this mid tower. They've wanted Seros. He's over in the wings looking for a spear. Gangplank trying to get those barrels off, but Echo denying it perfectly. Only Liquid there to back him up.
Yeah, and this is the thing. Echo is still massive. I have no idea how that stunned, how that did. I am just... Bard is sometimes amazing, isn't he? Sorry, Bardo. Bardo is sometimes amazing. 4-0 is Thaldron on this Echo.
That
and
is
once
insane.
again, the front line that he currently possesses, and most we said it was lacking for SuperMassive, definitely not lacking at this point in time.
Not a lot is lacking when you're currently 4-0. Oh!
Why'd you
W's right into the barrel. Dumbledore is there to provide a little bit of support, but Naru...
Confused.
A bit of a risky place. You got to remember, as LeBlanc, you're your own projectile here, so...
Kira was clearing minions. He wasn't even going for you. And you made him. What's happening?
Does a lot of damage. Looks like it will be Storm Mage picking up that dragon. So he's got himself the Rift Herald, he's got himself the dragon, and the Devourer stacks to go with it as it was completed before getting that dragon. So that's going to be 5 stacks under his belt. Got to be feeling good about that one.
Absolutely. He's going to have plenty of stacks to his name soon, you would imagine, as they have started on the right foot. But not a whole lot of jungle to keep control of. As both of these two, I will say, as junglers, have been quite neutral.
Oh,
the
that's
jungle control. Unlucky. But, however, they are still getting ganks off, which is the curious thing. They kind of just have a truce, junglers right now. Like, we'll meet at the river.
When there's a fight, we'll meet up. Otherwise, please respect my farming.
So it's funny, because their pink ward coverage actually says the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like, this is our safe zone. SuperMassive have looked towards the mid lane with both of their pinks, whereas the rest of the river is hard random.
Well, looks like the Cannon Barrage has gone down. There is Thresh, the teleport coming out. Remember, this Echo is 4-0. Once it gets in, it's going to be cancelling it, though. So Miracle, he might be in a lot of trouble, but doesn't back out. He wants to get the kill. The heal is going to be enough, and that's Dumbledore getting taken out. So massive play in the bot lane, but Smurf might be in trouble as Thaldron. He looks like he wants to take this one. A lot of damage coming down. One more auto attack should do it, and Thaldron currently 5-0 in this top lane.
What a disaster for hard random. Thaldron is just running rampage in this top lane.
He stopped the teleport, but he cost him his own life. Oh, in the mid, though, Storm Mage might want to go on this. Kira, he might be in a little bit of trouble. One more auto attack should do it. The Q comes out, and the red buff should be enough to burn him, and the Lamb's Respite to keep him safe from the tower. Plays being made all over the map at this stage.
And individual mechanics are just styling on each other. If there's anything that both of these guys are, we said it coming into this game, it's mechanically proficient. And they're displaying that to the highest degree right now, as different ganks, differing ganks, and neutral vision kind of make this game as sporadic as possible.
Yeah, it has been an absolute banger of a game so far. We see Steros going for the first invade I think we've seen. 13 minutes in, taking away that blue buff for himself as a Nidalee. That has to be feeling nice, but 13 minutes in the game, the gold lead favoring hard random despite having a SuperMassive having the Rift Herald, they've had the Dragon, and they have the killed lead. So the laning phase definitely doing...
Sorry, I still have in my mind that you said banger of a game. It just makes me think of music.
Yeah.
It's like, I haven't heard that since I went down to Melbourne last. That's great. You're right. Like, they've got the lead, but all I was thinking of was banger. I was infinitely distracted. Oh, my bad.
That's all right. Kira going to be stacking up those Silver Krakens in the bot lane to make sure that his Cannon Barrage is going to be as buffed as possible. Looks like we've had the bot lane of hard random going to be going to that top lane. They want to get that tower after getting the bottom tower, so they're using their advantage well, and that's going to be forcing SuperMassive to match it.
Yeah, this is an interesting rotation, I suppose. It makes a lot of sense that they've put the...
Yeah,
it makes sense that they put the Maokai not in the Echo lane, which is obviously the response that they've done by doing this. but Echo kind of has the free reign of Miracle now. I don't think he cares.
Miracle going to be dashing away from the stun. He's got to give Thaldrun so much respect. Already completed his Sunfire Cape along with his Spectre's card. He's got himself 6 stacks on the Dark Seal as well.
Yeah, I don't think people understand. He can 1v2. Like, he can actually 1v2.
And there becomes the problem when trying to split against Gangplank. They get the tower regardless, so the Winions doing a great job. And you mentioned the 2v1 potential, but it is going to be a 2v2 as Dumbledoge makes his way up the teleport. Coming down, a double teleport, actually. So that's going to be Gangplank and Maokai. Kira follows his way through. The Bard stun is going to be there. They should be getting out of this one safely, but remember, Steros is in the back. LeBlanc keeping him at bay. They're chasing. They want this fight. The hook, it goes wide. The field goal not hitting either of the members here.
Dumbledoge can show you the world. That's the easiest way to explain this. The magical journey, clutch.
That was beautiful.
To actually get them to safety. And it's not easy to kill Thaldrun at all when he's a 5-0 Echo. I'll tell you what, it's a little bit harder when the 5-0 Echo has a Bard taking him on magical journeys to safety. Still a very nice dodge.
Well, Steros might be in a little bit of trouble here. Here's Echo. The stun is going to go down. That is huge. He's going to have to flash out of that one. There is the Lantern. Not going to be doing anyone. Here comes the magical journey. The Q does miss. Lucian is there to back them up, and all the teleports have been expended, so this is just going to be a straight 3v3. And right now, SuperMassive have the advantage. This Echo is so damn strong, trying to get the slow portion. The flash goes down. A few more auto attacks should do it. That's Naru picking up another one.
And Naru gets the cleanup in terms of kills as well. So this LeBlanc's huge, and they're benefiting from what was the 5-0 and 0 Echo.
He's insane.
Now actually got some assist in his back pocket. So this is the important thing that SuperMassive are doing. They're utilizing their top laner, who is ahead, to impact the rest of the team. But I guess the contrast to that is they're not actually using him to roam around and teleport. They're walking to the person with the teleport. They are slowly lumbering their way top lane and saying, Echo, gift me kills. And he's like, sure. But to be fair, we also saw a snippet of what their team comp is capable of. That actually, give him that back massage.
Yeah, the culling not doing any damage as of yet another Rift Herald going to be going over to SuperMassive. Their second of the game. Their neutral objective control has been so well, and that's what happens when your Echo is 4-0 by 4 minutes in the game.
Yeah, kind of a big deal. But once again, like the team composition that we've seen from SuperMassive actually does have some merit to it with the Echo and the Bard. It's something that we've seen internationally as well. Is you throw down the Tempered Fate, and then you pop down the Parallel Convergence on top of it. So the second it ends, if they're not burning Summoner spells, they're dead.
Yeah, we saw that just before and how effective it was. We see Naru in the bot lane going to be clearing out those pings. Got himself currently 2-0-2, a good chunk of CS, so he'll just be farming. And Thaldrun, he just has no fear going into this 1v1 against Smurf.
He does not care for your turrets, Smurf. I think it was a one trade and turrets were hitting him.
Dragon has spawned. Both teams poised and ready.
One has teleport, however.
True that.
The other team having 2 teleports, neither available as they were used in the top lane.
Oh, looks like Steros might be in a little bit of trouble. The Lantern going to be enough to keep him to safety. There is the curtain call looking down. Steros, he might be in a little bit of trouble. Gets taken out by Naru.
Oh, and that last crit even connecting. All 4 bullets for the AD carry of SuperMassive. And I hate that they're called SuperMassive because that's all I want to define them as right now. That they're a very fed team. Even more stacks available for Stomaged.
Yeah, they are just doing so damn well this game. Echo, 8 stacks of his Dark Seal, so proving to be a very efficient use of his items. But look at the damage coming out. Naru gets him. Liquid going to be answering with a kill of his own. Gangplank's there, the Tempered Fate to keep them in place. The Cannon Barrage goes down. Archie going to be having to burn that flash. That's great gold going over to Kira. Shutdown for the team.
Hard Random saying, I see you don't have your Echo available to you. It'd be a shame if something were to happen to your backline. But that was also implicated through aggression from Naru, which was a flash dive and instantly killing Miracle. That's not a promising sign for Hard Random as things go on. However, the damage Kira did was massive. Does have his Trinity Force available, so the power spike is there for the Gangplank.
Here we see on the side of Nidalee, she's got herself that Rod of Ages stacking. So going to be taking a little bit more time to ramp up and be the real threat. We've seen some of the Nidalees in this tournament so far. Kira going to be going down to that bot lane. Still just farming up a storm. Looks like he did buy his first upgrade of his ultimate, having only 13 coins left over.
Yeah, so the thing is, most Nidalees, like, they invade. That's the purpose of the Nidalee. She jungles so clear, she secures vision so well. but you actually want to utilize that control to invade the jungle. Steos stayed even, and like that's great, but the Kindred staying even with a Devourer scales just as well as you, and you don't gain an advantage through playing that champion. You may as well be Graves, which is why Graves is so popular at the moment.
Exactly right. We see a lot of people poised and ready at that bot lane, just round their blue buff, but it looks like Smurf, he wants to have a fight with Naru. He's got a lot of magic resistance, has those Mercury Treads and the Spirit Visage. So Naru wants none of that one just yet. Thaldrun, though, he's so damn strong. There is no one that can stand against this Echo, even Kira backing out of this fight.
Yeah, they've tried different lane assignments back and forth, but Kira is the one they are choosing to respond to him, mostly because of the wave clear above all else.
Yep.
It stops Echo from taking down turrets. Gangplank has utility besides the teleport as well with his ultimate. He can impact other lanes.
Thaldrun's just sticking around. Kira is going to face check that one. A lot of damage coming down. The parallel convergence used behind, but in the mid lane we see Archer. He's been hit by the hook. He's going to get taken out. Naru gets exhausted immediately, so no damage coming down to Miracle.
A very nice exhaust from Liquid, and once again another good pick. Support showing their mechanical prowess. Hard Random looking for a turret now in response.
Not going to get it though. Storm Mage comes through. Dumble Doge is a Tempered Fate available. It is looking for the target. The ultimate goes down, keeping Storm Mage alive. Teleport coming through to Kira. He got the Lamb's Respite off. He's going to be getting a ton of damage before he does a nice double stun. That's Dumble Doge taking out Miracle. Thaldrun though looking for Steos. Looks like it has been an equal fight so far. Both teams losing a few members here and there, but that's actually 3 members going down. Steos is going to fall to Thaldrun any second now, missing the pounce over the wall. He's got nowhere to go. He falls. It's a 6-0 Echo.
And it is a massive Echo, but it's also an Echo that did not teleport.
Oh. Might want to go for something here. Sees Kira, but the Lantern should be enough to keep him safe. He did have the teleport available, not utilizing it to his full advantage, especially when the entire team of Hard Random was stuck in that Bard ultimate, and then the Lamb's Respite came down, just keeping them in place for quite some time. They were there for
like 10 seconds.
I know.
There's no excuse for Thaldrun this time around. He definitely should have teleported. But in saying that, they still get themselves the kills. They still get stuff done.
Liquid, he gets the hook onto Dumbledoge. Going in, that's going to be a dead Bardo, as Miracle picks that one up off the back of a great hook.
Yeah, the carries, you have to say, are just not doing enough work here for Supermassive. They got a 4-2 LeBlanc, but only sparingly getting it done. The exhaust from Liquid was quite clutch. And the 0-4 Jhin, that's the real issue.
Oh, no, Smurf might be in a little bit of trouble. Luckily for him, the parallel convergence narrowly avoided. 22 minutes in the game. Still, both teams only about 1,000 gold separating. So, despite this, oh no, Thaldrun, he may have bit off more than he can chew. He's strong, but just how strong? Going to be having to burn that ultimate. Storm Mage is going to be backing him up. The Jhin ult coming down. They might be turning this fight around. A lot of damage coming through Echo. He wants to go in, but the Lamb has been hooked in. She gets taken out.
Yeah, Kindred goes down. Everyone baited by how tank the Echo is.
Yep.
Backfires in both directions more than once, but the end result, Supermassive lose their jungler. And they're just playing very carelessly now. And it's great, like lots of fights, always awesome, right? But the end result is, whilst there is a lead still established for Supermassive, it's only a small lead. It basically amounts to nothing right now. All they've got to back themselves up is that Dragon, because Echo's tanky. Like, Echo is overbearingly tanky right now. It's like too many items completed at 23 minutes in the game. But he's just a tank. And if he's not there and your team's dying, like, it's not Thaldrun's fault. He could have teleported one time and impacted the map. But his team just are not respecting that the only strong member besides LeBlanc is Thaldrun.
You're exactly right. And of course, on the side of Hard Random, they've got themselves Gangplank. He's finished his Essence Reaver, so he's going to be feeling good. Lucian, he's also picked up the static ship as well as a QSS to get himself out of any unwarranted parallel convergences or LeBlanc chains, keeping himself safe. Then on the other side, LeBlanc, she's got herself that death cap now, so we mentioned she's one of the stronger members here, and that's exactly why.
It's a very curious thing to me. I'm hoping that Supermassive can show their capabilities of pivoting in their playstyle.
Oh, Naru. He might be looking for a pick here onto Liquid, and that just goes to show what a LeBlanc with a death cap can achieve. The Tempered Fate goes down. It will be onto Smurf. Parallel conversion should follow. Cannon Barrage on the back of that one. Smurf, he's so damn tanky, but Naru in the backline looking for the chain. It is going to land. Thaldrin doing as what damage he can. Still has the ultimate available, so relatively safe. Smurf should fall any second. The flash from Archery picking that one up.
And Some's just playing Duke Party over there with a Nidalee and a Gangplank. They did not hit him with a single spell whilst he was sitting there. It gives a lot of time for the rest of SuperMassive to continue those picks, consolidate further off the map. So they take 2 members out, get themselves that objective, and Dragon number 3 is theirs.
Yeah, they got to be feeling good about this one. This just goes to show how well Stormage, despite just farming a lot, he was farming these neutral objectives off the back of any victory, which we can't really say that the Nidalee was doing. Anytime they were able to get a little bit of advantage, he would just go back to her own jungle, farm it up. And you mentioned, if you're going to do that, just pick Graves.
Yeah, absolutely right. And of course, Nidalee's still going to be good as the game goes on. Has a lot of kill threat throughout. Very poke heavy, however, which means between Kira and Staios, they need to set themselves up for team fights, and they can't just be raw engaged on. Easier said than done when a LeBlanc is 5-2 and an Echo is 6-0.
Yeah, all the kills going to the right people this far in the game. We saw the Lucian. He was ahead, but now 5-4-6 at
He's
the
still
moment.
ahead, that's the thing.
Yeah, guys.
That's a 1 for Archu on Jin on the flip side.
Oh, Kira, thinking he was going to do a lot more damage with that one. Bites off more than he could do. The parallel conversion goes down on the tower. A fight erupting in the mid lane. Naru, he's going to get taken down by Smurf. So fights left, right, and center. The mid tower does fall. The culling comes down. Stormage takes a spear to the back of that one. Looks like in the bot, Thaldrin did back off that one. But this is going to be another tower going over to Hard Random.
Yeah, and once again, SuperMassive not pivoting. The turret's still dead.
Yeah, he's just buying time for it.
Cheeky devil. Not going to actually stop anything. So yes, the turret does still fall. But once again, SuperMassive not pivoting in their style by putting Thaldrin mid. He's the only teleport on the team. Yet,
Still has it up.
Can put the Gangplank down there. And they can plop the ultimate if worse comes to worse. And he's going to be able to teleport in himself. 4v4 is where Hard Random want to be. They actually want to be fighting as a 4v4 team fight because we've alluded to this many times already. There's no tank from SuperMassive. If you hook Naru, the game's over. Yeah, we just saw that in the mid lane. Anytime Echo isn't there, they're looking to force these fights. But the side of SuperMassive is clearing out that Baron. Kindred is always a threat when she's got herself the Devourer and a bunch of stacks. The hook going to go wide this time. Stormage just doing a little bit of poke. Archu on that Jhin. Not doing the best, but he's getting his damage items in there, and eventually the Jhin damage is just incomparable. We have more kills in the clock at the moment. These teams are very aggressive and they want to hit each other. Makes a lot of sense as well. You have to remember this is Turkey against CIS. They love a good biff. The occasional team fight. And by occasional, I mean every 2 minutes. Yeah. Give or take. It's also playmaking champion, so they've got the LeBlanc and the Bard. They've got the Echo who wants to fight. GP wants to try and hit those kegs the later the game goes also. Very intensive individual champions. Looks like once again we've seen this dance before in the bot lane, Echo and Gangplank, but this time he's brought a couple of reinforcements here. Kira, realizing the threat, just backs off out of this one, but this tower should be going down. There is no one in position to help him out. Luckily, the Gangplank ult was able to deter any further aggression. Yeah, they're not going to be able to take it down. They also lost all of their minion wave with the last keg that Kira used. That was actually well kill them. They're still sieging. Yeah, they really want this tower. Thaldrin, he's very low on mana though. Looks like Naru picking his targets well. Gets a lot of damage down, but Steros, he wants to get this. He might solo out the LeBlanc. There it is. One more attack should do it. Thaldrin in the middle of the fight. He's tanky. Tempered Fate goes down on a few members. Miracle in the back, taking on Stormage. He might be able to get it. They both get taken out in the process. Echo finally falls for the first time ever. That goes over to Kira as well. This is a very perplexing game, to say the least. As an analyst, I'm just scratching my head. LeBlanc's first death was in a situation where she could have went back to her distortion, but she flashed. And then lost the distortion. I was like, just go back to it, then flash. You would, like, distance would have been covered, but Hard Random, they get more than enough. They get 3 picks. The Baron has been started.
Yeah, they're just doing what they can to finish this one. The only people alive are Archu and Dumbledore. No Tempered Fate to delay the Baron. Licorice just running point right now. Doesn't want to let anyone get in range. The hook goes out, does land on the Jhin. The Lantern is there. Maokai, will he take it? There it is. Maokai coming through the twisted advance, not going to be in range. A great double stun by Dumbledore, and that stops him from completing the Baron. So well played on that part.
So we didn't see the health value of the Baron at any situation.
It had to be low,
that,
right?
But you would imagine it was low. They didn't have an AD carry hitting it, however.
Sure.
But you'd think that with Kira there, and even Nidalee, the damage would have been enough as they're just teleporting. And they're doing it themselves.
Looks like Thaldron, he wants to take this one immediately.
That's dangerous.
The barrel's going through. Looks like Dumbledore, he might be in a little bit of trouble. Here comes the curtain call, hitting Kira time and time again. The crit goes through the Baron. It should be getting low because Stormage's been hitting it completely uncontested. Where is the initiate from Hard Random? They can't let this one go down. Stormage takes it, but the fight has commenced. Liquid with a nice double flag is taken out immediately after Kira gets Tempered Fate out of this one. That's going to leave Miracle to his own devices. Echo, he's in the backline trying to do what he can. He's just so darn strong.
That's a triple kill already, but this is going to take a while if we want 4. Let's just watch the magic unfold, I suppose.
Such amazing micro here.
Grab your popcorn.
We're going to be here a while.
Stop using spells. He's getting health back.
Giving him a magical journey just in case he wanted to extend the fight, take it to a new location. New scenery like in the old fighting games where you'd smack them through the floor and they'd go through into a completely new level.
Look, they still got the Baron. They got an ace. Everything and more for Supermassive, and whilst it took them an awful long time to take down that Maokai, only one member remains from Hard Random. And you would think that after the recalls, after the death timers have ended, they will work back towards the Dragon number 4 and then try and siege down some objectives. I wish we saw the health of that Baron as well, because the GP was there. He was trying to steal it with his kegs. That was
intense.
And the thing is, like, if he got that, it would have been great, because they could have just disengaged and ran away. But he didn't, so they tried to fight. And because he was trying to steal it with kegs, you have to remember this is the current patch Gangplank, who only has 3 kegs to set up. You set up all your kegs to steal. You don't actually have a chain to impact the fight afterwards.
Dragon number 4 going over to Supermassive, so they're doing a great job this game at just keeping these neutral objectives under wraps. Yeah. We see right now, 31 minutes in the game. Still the gold, very even considering the bloodbath this game has provided us with.
Yeah, the gold is still quite even. I don't think it will amount to a whole lot right now. We're looking at the Echo and the LeBlanc once again. Like, Achu is a support.
He's there for the W to stun someone.
That's exactly what he's there for. He presses W and R.
Yeah, he goes for the slows, goes for the W. Yeah.
Like, because Jhin doesn't need to be ahead if he has his W and R available, right? Like, he's just aided lockdown.
Makes me wonder about the rapid fire cannon build here, especially since that his auto attacks are going to be not impactful.
You do you, man. Like, what else would he go, I suppose? It makes him auto attack from a longer range. I think it's safe given that he's 1 and 5.
Sure.
And it could maybe have been like a Last Whisper or something if he was going to go all in.
Looks like
I mean, sure, yeah, he could have gone Last Whisper, but that's not how AD carries think. He doesn't think he's a support. He thinks he's a carry.
Kira might be in a bit of trouble here as Naru thinks he can take this one, immediately cleanses the chain. Naru wants to fight this one. Kira in a lot of trouble. He does have the teleport available, but Naru should be able to stop this. Oh, here comes Thaldron. Here comes Dumbledore. The curtain call has been laid down. Kira flashes.
Go, Kira!
What's he buying time for?
Himself!
That goes over to Naru. So 4 members used a few ultis, but Kira falls.
And they lose another member. There's not a lot of health to speak of on Naru, but I'm sure the Dumbledores will top him up eventually. Oh, never mind. The spear connects. Everyone needs topping up. What a disaster. And I think the Baron's gone.
Yeah, Baron buff has timed out here, but I don't think it's going to matter as they've already gotten that tower relatively low, just completely brunt force their way to it. A beautiful magical journey there. Definitely quicker than walking.
Yeah, it is. The more you level it up, the quicker you go.
I always max E second on Bard.
Yeah, you probably I go 2 levels in W first, though.
That's a fair call.
Increase the healing amount, yeah. But you always go Ignite and max Q first.
Oh, yeah, just kill people.
Brad, and you go AP runes.
The Bardo.
Sorry, yeah, Brado.
Brado. Bradley. We see Stormage just doing jungle things, finally invading a little bit. We saw him take away the enemy Raptor camp as we see Miracle and Licorice just doing their best to clear out any of the wards. They've realized that the next objective should be that top outer turret, given the health that it's on, actually. It is about a minion auto from Dead, so they will be setting up their camp top because SuperMassive, they're making their way with a big minion wave.
And it's amazing how this lead has been established through just Echo. Like,
yeah.
LeBlanc's putting
insane.
in work now, but that's because 2 free kills from an Echo set her up for that. Like, everything has just been one champion in this game.
And the tower does fall. There is the curtain call going to be keeping Seros at bay. The slow continuing to proc. There goes the crit shot. Parallel convergence on the backline. Miracle, he's in the wrong spot right now. Does QSS that one. There's the tempered fate on the tower. They want to take this fight, but I don't think it's going to be enough as a cannon barrage provides enough utility to keep them away. But where is Smurf? How did he get there? It looks like Thaldrin might be in a little bit of trouble. He gets hooked. The parallel convergence does go down the heel. Going to be keeping Smurf alive, but Miracle dies on the back of that one. LeBlanc just assassinating him.
Yeah, LeBlanc taking him down. The siege is not going to stop here from SuperMassive. I'm pretty sure Maokai followed a LeBlanc back to the original distortion. But the teleport, wow.
Looks like Smurf, they want to keep this fight going. Archu, he might be the one in trouble. Immediately cleanses that twisted advance. Good cleanse. The QSS passive being used well. Naru gets another one onto Kira. Thresh in the meantime did take out the land, but look at Echo. He's just doing well. A beautiful double stun by Dumbledore. That's going to be Archu getting the W down onto that Thaldrin. He is so damn tanky. He does not care about this tower. Another Exterminaro getting that one. Looks like the mid inhibitor has been broken. The ace. They could win this game here, Rusty.
This absolutely should be game for SuperMassive. Game number 1. And this puts Hard Random, the team that were first place.
Wow.
Now tied, if not actually below SuperMassive, because they've got an extra game in their back pocket.
They have to be feeling good about that when they looked a little bit shaky in their loss, but showing just how well they can play when it matters.
Yeah, they're absolutely tied now. First place up in the air between both of these teams. And I mean, that was a heavy-hitting game.
That was a beautiful game to watch,
to say the least. It was bloodthirsty.
An excellent start to the day. Hopefully the following games could be that entertaining, because we saw quite a heavy kill game. You mentioned that it was outweighing the time in minutes to kills about 20 minutes in.
I think that continued throughout the rest of the game as well. But once again, we saw SuperMassive through Thaldrin, not Fabulous, pick up a successful game. And the scary thing to me is that was actually entirely through Thaldrin. Like, he was the funnel for all of the money that SuperMassive were getting, because it was like, all right, he's winning lane, Echo into Maokai, which, by the way, was the biggest mistake that Hard Random could ever have made.
Oh, yeah.
You don't give them the Maokai into an Echo matchup and go standard lanes. They should have lane swapped. But through that, they get an advantage. Through that advantage, SuperMassive like, oh, let's just go top lane and get more of an advantage through it, because Hard Random's response to him being 2-fed and killing the Maokai was send the duo lane up there. That was where everything went wrong.
Yeah, it was quite a crazy game, to say the least. That early teleport providing him with a nice bit of double kill action, getting himself a lot of gold to go back and just completely snowball that lane. He was regularly getting about 15 stacks on his Dark Seal, providing him that AP Echo needs to also do a buttload of damage whilst being completely unkillable.
Yeah, absolutely. The Echo was scary. I think it's something that should be addressed with this time around, or next time, for any team playing against SuperMassive. Alrighty,
guys, that was an absolutely amazing game, but stay tuned for game number 2 right after this break.